After arriving Monday in Clearwater, Florida, Jim Cantore of the Weather Channel in Southwest Florida, and I saw a tweet from Jim before 7 a.m. that said the hurricane now 155 miles per hour, trying its best to become a Cat 5, which I think is 157, 158 miles per hour. And then Jim goes on to say one of the strongest hurricanes in Southwest Florida history. And Jim joins us now. Jim, where are you?
Well, I'm back packing some of my stuff because I have a feeling I'm going to be spending the night in my car because we're going to get some storm surge here in Punta Gorda, Florida, which is where I am, Dan. And so we're going to go. We got a parking garage. We'll get up a couple of levels in that and let this thing come in and do its thing, man.
How bad do you expect it to be?
Very, very bad. If you go and you Google the Saffir-Simpson scale, and you look at the different categories, when you're up there on a high end 4 or low 5, it doesn't matter if it gets to 5 now. It's still, unless it goes way into the 5. But the point is it's still the same type of catastrophic damage. Homes, roofs, trees and power lines mangled just about everywhere. And of course, the element with this that we're worried about is storm surge. 12 to 18 feet, Dan, which puts some of this town that I'm in, or a lot of it anyway, underwater.
Explain that storm surge to me.
So the storm surge is the rise of water component on the east side of a storm. There's all this wind that comes over the water, and you have such a low pressure. You have a compensating water rise for that. So all of that is following the hurricane's landfall point. All right. And wherever that is, especially if it's to my west, which it's forecast to be, the right side of that eye, which is where I am, is maximizing the storm surge. So this morning, again, you saw pictures up in Tampa Bay where the wind was actually blowing the water out. Here in Charlotte Harbor, we had offshore winds, and that blew the water out. But the water's going to come back in, and it's going to come back in with waves on top of it, and it's going to continue to rise into that 12 to 18 foot level. So that's what happens when you have a hurricane. There's almost a little slope of water that adjoins the eye wall right into the coastline. And of course, depending on the approach, is it 90 degrees to the coast or is it more angular? You maximize your storm surge the more, perpendicular you are to the coast.
Who's getting hit the hardest, or what you expect?
Lee, Charlotte, Collier counties up to Sarasota County. And the fact that this thing is so doggone strong, it's not going to wind down quick. It's going to come in and you're going to even have damage into Orlando. I remember after Charlie, which this isn't going to move that fast, but it's so much bigger. It's going to kind of make up for not having that speed. There were like literally mulch cities because there was so much debris everywhere that they had to mulch all up. So, it was incredible. I'll never forget that image driving by in Orlando after Charlie back in 2004.
What's the worst one you've been involved in?
They're all bad. They're all, any major hurricane, there's a lot of damage. But sometimes, let's just say Harvey. After Harvey came in as a Cat 4 on the Central Texas coast, then it became a 65-inch flood in the Houston metro area. So it's like, what's bad? What was bad? All of it. Anything that floods, certainly anything that causes a massive loss of life and property is bad. So Dan, I don't know if you can see this. Tell me if you guys can see this.
Yes.
Yeah, you can see it.
Yeah.
All right. So the top part is what we call the reflectivity. The bottom part is the radar estimating the wind speed. So that's the eye wall. You see the 122 miles an hour in that eye wall?
Yeah.
That's what's coming in toward Captiva right now as we speak. And that's what's heading up my way. So I'm watching this. And last time we had, Hurricane Charlie back in 2004, that the waves and the wind were so bad, they actually made a cut across the barrier island. They call it the Captiva cut. I expect several cuts in several parts of the barrier island to really take a catastrophic hit.
How do you maintain composure in something like this? It's your job, but there's got to be part of you that nervous.
Yeah, I'm always nervous for my crew. I'm always nervous for people in harm's way. But I'm on mission. How do you ask a guy who's on the front lines? How do you maintain composure? It's your mission. It's your job. So, you have that responsibility to do that. I mean, it's not perfect. Sometimes you get tired. Sometimes you see someone suffering and you're torn to pieces because of it. And that's really hard, frankly, to maintain that composure because you want to suffer right along with them. And this lady downstairs, her name was Barbara. She just gave me a big hug before I came up here. And I mean, that was nice. I needed that.
So what do you do the rest of the day?
I'm going back out. Like I said, I came back here to our hotel because given the storm surge forecast here in Punta Gorda, I don't know if we're going to be able to get back here tonight when we finish doing our broadcast. So we're probably sleeping in the car in a parking garage. So I just wanted to get some things, some food to bring back, some drinks, some Gatorade, water, things like that, just to go back and ride it out there. And hopefully we'll be able to walk back to our hotel tomorrow, but I don't anticipate anybody having power. I can tell you that.
You ever been in a jam where you thought, you know what, I'm in trouble here?
I mean, never like, oh, I'm in trouble here, because you can always go up. You always have to leave yourself an escape route to go up. I mean, the cars and all the other crap you can replace. In Katrina, we lost everything on the parking lot. And the good news is we were there at the Armed Forces Retirement Home. So we could help out the Navy CB unit that was based there. A lot of young guys, strong, young, but basically when that water started coming in that building, we got a chance to help them, bring those our vets up to the second floor out of harm's way. But, the problem is the water came in, the food is down there, all the medicine is down there. And of course, everyone's having breakfast when Katrina came into Gulfport, Mississippi. So that was one of those things where it's just like, you can react and freak out, or you can pull yourself together, change your mission. Now you're a part of the mission with these guys, and you try and help as many people as you can. And I'm proud to say nobody died in that. Nobody died in that Armed Forces Retirement Home. And these are heroes. You should see that thing now, Dan. You should see that place. It's a fortress. It's up on stilts, 30 feet off the ground. So if you ask me if I'd ride out another Cat 5 hurricane there, you're damn right I would. Absolutely.
What would you say to the people who could be listening to this show or in that area that you think is right in the middle?
I hope they realize, how fast the water's going to come up when the winds come around from the south, because it's weird this morning because it's actually going down. I mean, there are boats literally sitting in harbors that are tied up. They're sitting on the ground, kind of tilting over like this. But when the water comes back in, now you're talking about it's got no place to go but up. And then if some of the wind breaks the boats loose, they're just at the mercy of the wind, and you kind of wind up with this big pile of boats, in the corner of the marina. So that change in wind direction brings in the water. It also brings in the eye wall, which is making its way toward Captiva as we speak. And there's still so much lightning in that eye wall, which is usually a sign of a very well-established hurricane that even could intensify further.
Great to talk to you. Be safe as always.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
All right. Jim Cantore, meteorologist, Weather Channel. And, there's part of you that you have to want to do that because that's what your job is. And it's important to do it. And to be able to go in and be able to report, letting people know this is serious.